Okay. Your heart's beating, your palms are sweaty, everything's blurry, and you're afraid. Whether it's spiders or heights or the darkness, everyone's afraid of something. And sometimes our fears control our lives. I know I've been afraid of something since I was 19 years old, or for 19 years, and I'll tell you what it is later because it's kind of embarrassing. But it's how we get over these fears that really changes who we are and changes our lives. So today I'll be talking about what fear really is and phobias, how it changes and modifies our life, and also how to get over your fear and how to let it go. And I start out with a quote that says, "Only when we are no longer afraid do we begin to live." That's by Dodson. Okay, what is fear and where does it come from? Fear is basically a natural human survival mechanism. It's telling you that something's not right. It's a reaction to any kind of potential danger that you subconsciously feel. And I made a little illustration. It is a message from your brain to your heart that makes it beat faster and makes you get jittery and makes you start sweating. And a phobia, hot day. All right, there it goes. It's an intense and unreasonable fear. Usually you see people with phobias on Dr. Phil. They're scared of things like pickles or, I don't know, small pencils, weird, strange things that people aren't normally afraid of. And usually phobias are things that it's so unreasonable that it couldn't actually harm them or cause any type of problems in their life in any way, but for some reason they believe it does. And it's actually a very serious condition to some people. And it usually interferes with a person's everyday life. It can be dangerous and harmful physically and emotionally, because imagine if you're afraid of something like mirrors, which a lot of people are. You see mirrors everywhere you go every day, and if you have to avoid that and modify your life to where you don't interact with mirrors, that could really change your life and make it a lot different than most people. And I thought I'd include the top 10 fears in the world. Arachnophobia is actually the #1 fear. Social phobia, which is like public speaking, is #2. Aerophobia, fear of flying. It goes on, and I thought the most interesting thing with the change of times was carcinophobia, which is the fear of cancer, and that's #8. That was kind of shocking to me. But it's really surprising that the fear of death is actually #10. I thought it would be a little bit higher. How do we overcome our phobias? First of all, we have to admit our fears to ourselves and maybe to other people who we can rely on. So, I'm going to admit my biggest fear in my life to you to this date. And please promise not to laugh that much, okay? I have a huge fear of dinosaurs. And I don't know where it came from. And I think it has to do with deep water and sharks or something, but I can't even look at that picture because I'm completely scared of dinosaurs. So I'm going to take it off. How I got over my fear was gradual exposure. I ended up going to MGM Studios, unfortunately against my will, to the Jurassic Park ride. And once you're in, you can't get out. So being stuck in that little caravan for 20 minutes was really horrible for me. But I promise, if you do things that are small like that to get over your fear, you can slowly start changing things in your life to where Barney isn't so scary anymore. So, but basically today, I hope I explained to you what fear is and what a phobia is kind of lightly and how to get over it. And I hope that all of you aren't afraid to go out and make that difference in your life, even if it's something so small as public speaking.